In this world, there isn't just one type of king. History has shown us repeatedly all the different types of kings which exist, and what becomes of them with time. There are benevolent kings, tyrannical kings, incompetent kings, brave kings, kings who are fools, narcissistic kings, naive kings, lover kings, and finally, the wise kings. The benevolent kings are exploited and quickly run out of things to give others, losing their support. The tyrant finds excitement in chaos and loses peace of mind and lasting happiness, often having to pay for his crimes far gravely than expected. Incompetent kings manage to make people angry and are disrespected and quickly put down, or used by others as puppets on string. A brave man lives a worthy life, but not for long. He fights for his people, but rarely stays alive to see them thrive. A foolish king is nothing but a curse on his people. He quickly overthrows himself and his entire kingdom. The narcissists are ruled by their ego. They feed their ego by serving only themselves. Needless to say, they won't get to reign long, as they'll be forsaken by those who they forsake. When danger strikes, the knave falls prey to his closest allies. His own council treats him like a puppet, and he commits their sins for them. In the end, takes all the responsibility. Next, lover and passionate kings are slaves to their carnal desires, and so are controlled and expelled by women. They are manipulated to death by them and leave to them their throne. Only the wise king gets to stand the longest and rule his people. He may not be the bravest of them all, but he can surely stand his ground. He helps those in need, but he isn't known for being overly kind. His council may be irritated by him as he doesn't do what they say, but he always listens and takes their point of view into consideration. He is well aware that he isn't the one with supreme wisdom, and hence leaves himself open to learning and experimenting. He is well versed on his own weaknesses, and instead of trying to push them to the back burner, he actively brings them out and gives himself chances to befriend them when it's safe to do so. He may not have the temperament of being stern, but he understands the extreme importance of establishing order and maintaining control. He doesn't eliminate his ego completely, as he understands others can use it to his disadvantage, but he doesn't let it control him. He does all these things to maintain order, and yet his people live happy. Why? Because he doesn't oppress them. He lets them live with freedom, as he knows that with oppression comes revolution. He doesn't fall victim to it like a lot of other kings do. One thing which really sets him apart is how he doesn't let carnal desires overtake his mind. Those desires are nothing but a biological trap most men in society never recover from. So, despite having the access of literally any woman he wants, he keeps himself controlled and rational. He values his role in society more than his carnal pleasure and fulfillment. And for this reason, to keep himself maintained, he finds himself a worthy queen. A worthy queen isn't necessarily the one who is the prettiest of them all. Instead, he spends a long time carefully studying the qualities and traits of all the women available to him. A worthy queen exhibits qualities that none other do. It's a simple reality that most women simply aren't queen material. But a worthy queen holds the ability to truly make the king invincible to all threats. The wise king rules and maintains his authority simply because he knows the consequences of being stupid. He might have made quite a few mistakes in the past, but he's learned not to repeat them. He knows the burden of being on the throne. He doesn't underestimate the burden on him every entering and exiting day. He knows that the responsibility on his shoulder isn't for the faint of heart, and is aware that any fool who tries to do it for the fame shall surely be burnt in its fierce blaze. He knows he must protect the lives of his people. He is responsible for their safety and well-being. Every single day, he's open to learning and evolving, because he's aware it's the only way he survives. There simply isn't any other way. By doing so, he soon realizes that he is respected and admired by his people. He is therefore known in kingdoms afar and feared not for his power, but for his way of thinking. It's hard to break him down or make him lose his composure. He understands that, as a king who's supposed to be the model, fear is worse than his worst enemy. He believes the only way out of any crisis is to keep fear at bay. He knows that's the case, because otherwise, the strongest armies and smartest strategies will so easily succumb to defeat. He feigns fearlessness and faces the crisis head-on, and once he's pulled through, he claims he won without batting an eyelid. This is his effective way of uplifting his people and making them invest even more. If there's one thing he's learned as a king, is he only loses when he loses the trust and goodwill of his people. When you apply this way of thinking onto your life, you will find yourself becoming a king in a world that's full of sheeps. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like and comment your thoughts on the matter. Make sure you subscribe, as we have a lot more videos coming out which will elevate your status in life. With that said, see you all soon.